freak storm just passed through the north, everything. The freak storm.
Hey. What is happening in Jamaica right now? Are we actually in an active storm? Did we just experience the first hurricane of the hurricane season and the meteorology department was surprised by this event? No, none of that. What we have experienced is what is called a squall, and we have discussed squalls on this channel before. But I'm going to let an actual meteorologist explain what was
Ron,
happening.
there's some stuff happening outside and social media blow up. What's happening?
Well, there is a large area of showers and thunderstorms associated with a cumulonimbus cloud, right? And below this cumulonimbus clouds are some patches or some areas of squall-like activity moving across the island. So if you look outside, you're going to have strong windy conditions. You're going to have some pockets of rainfall. But what's occurring is a squall line that is moving offshore the southeast coast and going across sections of Kingston and St. Andrew.
Squall? That's what they call it? What is that?
So, Abby, in its simplest definition, a squall is a sudden increase in winds lasting for several minutes. It is often associated with thunderstorms, and it can bring strong winds, heavy rainfall, thunder and lightning, and of course, reduced visibility.
Okay, and what precautions must Jamaicans take at this time?
So if you're outdoor, try to go inside. Yeah. If you have, if it is raining, stay inside. If you can secure things that might become projectiles, secure them. But as it is, it's just a sudden increase in wind speed associated with thunder. But stay inside. That's the safest thing you can do at this moment in time.
Okay, thank you, Ron. And Jamaica, we will keep you updated. You have more? Okay, go ahead.
Also, in cases like these, right, you could have heavy downpour associated with the scope. Look out for an increase in rainfall as well. Not lasting long, but rainfall nonetheless.
Heavy winds affected sections of Montego Bay, St. James, Kingston and St. Andrew, Clarendon and St. Thomas today. Now, people have been taking to social media showing the impact. There's been no major report of damage, but it is likely that we'll be experiencing windy conditions for the remainder of the week. Now, our resident meteorologist, Romain Robinson, joins us with the very latest. Good evening, Romain. Well, I saw you at the start, but good evening again. First of all, what caused the wind?
Well, we have two features. There is a tropical wave that did move across the island earlier this morning, and we still have that low-level jet that has been carrying very strong winds across the Central Caribbean and Jamaica, which has been having us have that small craft warning out for the past few weeks.
So when you say a low-level jet, it's as it's moving, it's pulling air? What do you mean?
It's a very strong wind, but it's at the lower levels. We tend to have low-level jets at about 25 knots or higher. You can have jets, low-level jets, getting up to about 35 knots at sometimes. I think the one that we did have today was between 27 and about 30 knots. And then when the tropical wave passed through, that also has a wind surge behind it. So it brought added strong winds to the entire regime. So that yielded the strong winds that did affect the Jamaica area.
No, so you've been using terms there. Knots, that's one. But in terms of how powerful the winds are, what can you liken it to so people can relate it to, so people can understand?
We did have some reports of winds between 80 and about 90 kilometers per hour. That's essentially what you would get in a tropical storm. Cross sections of the northwest in Montego Bay, we did also have some winds getting up to between 90 and 95 kilometers per hour. But this was essentially tropical storm force across at least the most heavily affected areas.
So when we say tropical storm force winds now, we're talking about winds that can blow down trees? What do you mean?
Yeah, we do. You can see 90-knot winds lift small trees, topple weak structures, lift roofs, that type of thing.
No, it's the season for hurricanes overall. It's Atlantic hurricane season. Is this normal? Are we likely to see more of this happen?
It's difficult to say if you're likely to see more of this happen. However, if more tropical waves continue, you know that we do have tropical waves passing through the region persistently throughout the season. But if more of them continue with the persistence of that low-level jet, you could see another reoccurrence of something across the Jamaica area.
And of course, people can hear more from you in the weather report and forecast later on. Thanks, Romain, and over to you, Janella.
Now, Archie, several containers toppled at the Kingston Freeport Terminal Limited in St. Andrew because of the wind. The terminal's Chief Operation Officer, Carlos Cabrera, says wind speed was measured up to 96 kilometers per hour. He explained it affected mainly those containers stocked 3 to 5 containers high. All operations at the facility had to be halted for safety reasons.
All full containers are well, so no issues there. We had in one row around 40 empty containers that are leaning against each other, but no damages observed in that sense. Operations were back to normal after, I would say, 45 minutes after the storm had passed.